From the dunks to the baskets, the serves to the beautiful goals, we are here to tell you all about them right here on the locker room on Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Welcome inside of it. And you know that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, what we do from 8:15 till 8:45 is give you the best of the updates on what's happening with the sports all around the world. And I do not do it alone. But first, my name is Oluwaseun. And joining us today, as always, is the queen of the locker room, the one and the only Tega Supreme. Good morning.
Oh, I'm loving this. Almost as if I can see the pom-poms and hear the drum rolls. But hey, good morning, everybody. What is it today? Okay, yes, today I only came to the locker room because of Chelsea fans. All the bragging they've been bragging since Club World Cup. It was silent yesterday. Very silent. Saturday morning, we killed Crystal Palace. Saturday night, Crystal Palace could have killed them, if not VAR that stepped in. We'll talk about that this morning, all right? We'll also talk about what the Tigers are doing. The women have already won their basketball championship. The men are about to do the same. Let's see how it goes. They've qualified for the quarterfinals. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the Cincinnati Open. I understand that they've extended the Masters, but these people have wasted days. And so instead of playing the final on a Sunday, they're going to play the finals on a Monday and Tuesday morning. And the US Open is just right around the corner. We'll talk about this horrible decision that Cincinnati took. All of that and more inside the locker room. But before we do any talking, Oluwaseun, please tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room? Because I want to hear from LK Aderuba. What happened to your team?
As always, you can join us on WhatsApp first. That is 0911-999-0981. I'll take that again. 0911-999-0981. That's the WhatsApp line. And you can join us on YouTube where we're currently streaming live. It is at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. At Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Now we are ready to take it away. And we're starting with the one that Tega mentioned about the Tigers edging Cameroon in thriller in order to seal the quarterfinal spot. Looks like they also want $100,000, if you know what I mean.
This money must touch everybody. Largest, it must reach everybody. The Tigers the Tigers have been promised. The Super Falcons have been promised. The Tigers will not collect. No, if there's $100,000, they're going to pay for it. But they've been brilliant. And considering the build-up to this Afro-basket with the ladies, there was a history. So the Tigers is 5-time champion consecutively. So that was different. They came back year after year just to dominate and win. The Tigers have not been so exciting in recent years, and you can add to the fact that the team was undergoing its own transformation, and the Basketball Federation was going through its own turmoil, still is. But I think this year there's something else that is catching fire, because even the Star Okoyes that you expect to be the ones to light up the place, those are not the names that are popping up, you know, at this tournament. It's not like they're not playing, but they're not the names they're not the big names at this tournament. So there's something else in the air. Like the boys have something to prove. Like they've seen the girls and they've gotten their motivation. It's a completely different kind of fight. From start to finish, they have dominated, and so they're defeating teams, including defending champions Tunisia. They're defeating teams as if, look, we are here on a mission. People are just in a road. So every other team is roadkill right now. And we hope that continues all the way into the quarterfinals, because even yesterday was so dominant. And you, at the end of the day, when you look at the scoreline, It was a poor fourth quarter, but it was still a brilliant result nonetheless. So we expect that this will continue in the quarterfinals. But what it is, they've qualified for the quarterfinals. Let's see if they can carry that team all the way through to the finals and then bring the trophy home. But it's a completely different team, an inspired performance.
Yeah, we have to thank the ones who gave the motivation. Well, now we're talking about world number three, Swiatek, powering past Rebecca into Cincinnati WTA final. And that is 7-5-6-3 on Sunday in order to reach the final of the ATP WTA Cincinnati Open.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Wasted all of Saturday when they could have played the semi-final there and then played the semi-final on Sunday. They wasted the entire morning of Saturday. And so the final is going to be played on Tuesday. But Iga Swiatek, the way she has come back, she had a horrible first half of the year, and then she went on to win Wimbledon. And people were still saying, yeah, she won Wimbledon because, nobody was really watching her anymore. But people are watching her, and she's defeating the big names. Rybakina is one of the players she's also struggled against in recent time. And with Rybakina coming back with her old coach, who seemed to be her magic wand. I don't understand how a dysfunctional relationship can be your magic wand. But it works for Rybakina because she's insisted that this is the coach she wants on the sidelines. And so they stepped on court that day, even with Swiatek leading head to head. It still wasn't certain that Rybakina was going to be an easy fit. And then Rybakina broke early, made it look tougher. But when Rybakina served for the set, I don't know what switch went on in Swiatek's head. She just started playing great tennis. Her serves were getting better. Her returns were unbelievable. Even Rybakina was stunned. I guess that's how she lost the first set. And then the second set was a complete routine tennis. So brilliant performance by Iga Swiatek. But she meets Jasmine Paolini in the final. Now, Jasmine
Hmm.
Paolini, after the first round, Jasmine Paolini looked like she was on her way out. How she fought back her way into this tournament and is now in the final is only stuff of legend. So we wait to see how it pans out. Both players looking to redeem themselves in the final, and both players can have the absolute weapons to do it. So this will be a tough final for Iga Swiatek. Make no mistakes about it. But let's see how she stands up to it. She's qualified for the WTA finals, final eight, with that win against Rybakina. But now she wants to start winning trophies on hard court. So let's see whether she can do that.
Well, still about the court racket and the neon ball, let's talk about hot rivals. This time, world number one, Sina, and hot rival, Carlos Alcaraz, will
Oh my
face off.
goodness.
Yeah.
They will face off in the final. Should I say it again? So this is what everybody has been suspecting was going to happen, because Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner are miles apart away from everybody else on tour. And so the only difference between both players, I would say, is that Yannick Sinner is consistent, and he has built a fearful aura around him. So sometimes tennis players step on the court and just assume they are going to lose. Carlos Alcaraz, on the other hand, has mood swings. You know, even in the middle of the match, he can have a dip in form, a very nasty dip in form. So players believe that if they play their best, they can beat him. But he's not as consistent as Yannick. But because he has that magical X factor in him, he's great, athletic. He's a combination. If you've watched tennis over the years, you see a combination of some of the greats in his game. And he just has that magical ability to pull off great shots that normally people will not be able to return. Carlos Alcaraz will return them. So that's the only difference between both players. But both players are miles away from everybody else. And this year alone, they've met at the French Open. Carlos Alcaraz took that one. They met in Wimbledon. Yannick Sinner took that one. So now they are meeting in Cincinnati. And most people are expecting that there will be the name in the final again at the US Open. So this is a rivalry that is built for years. I can't wait to see who is going to win this round. Now, Carlos Alcaraz is leading on a head-to-head. But if you talk about recent matchup, you are only as good as your last matchup. And in the last matchup, Yannick Sinner completely dominated Carlos Alcaraz on grass. So,
Mm.
and this is hard court. Hard court, if you ask me, is more suited to Yannick Sinner's game, especially if you add his consistency and reliability. But let's see what Carlos Alcaraz can pull off, because you just write him off at your own peril. Recent form, I would say Yannick Sinner should take it. But because it's head-to-head between Carlos and Yannick Sinner, anybody can win it. So that happens tonight at 9 p.m.
We might not know who will lose that one, but at least we know who won that of yesterday. And so Manchester United lost to Arsenal in their opener yesterday. And this is a talk on everybody's lips and maybe part of Arsenal's sweet dream. And there are questions
Well,
about it.
yeah, so I would say this. It seems like Manchester United cannot do anything right. They play horribly, they lose. They play well, they lose. There is no hope
Oh
because
my chest.
yesterday they played Arsenal off the park. I did not see Arsenal's midfield. No the Zubimendi, the Declan Rice that we were expecting to see, we didn't see. Even Bukayo Saka had a bad day. With all of that happening, and the horrible defense that Arsenal put up yesterday. Trust me, Arsenal made many defensive blunders.
Yeah.
Still, Manchester United couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And that's what, at the end of the day, that's what football is down to. Who can put the ball in the back of the net? One ball, 22 guys. Who can put the ball in the back of the net? That's the summary of football. Manchester United couldn't, Arsenal did. And to make it worse, so as Manchester United conceded from a corner against the run of play by Arsenal. Then they had their own corner, the exact same thing. There was a player on David Raya, but instead of butterfingers like Bayender, he had strong fingers to push the ball far out of his 18-yard box, and Arsenal survived it. So it was just a question of the moment that both teams had. Arsenal took their moment, Manchester United didn't take their several moments. And so ultimately, Arsenal came away with 3 points in a match that you could say they didn't deserve to get any 3 points. At the end of the day, when you watch that match, I think Mikel Arteta has more questions to answer than Ruben Amorim. But because Ruben Amorim has lost 15 of 8, you can't make excuses for him. So it's like he carried his bad season from last time out, and he's brought it into this season. And this was a season that Manchester United fans were hopeful for, that maybe things would turn around with the money that they've spent in the club and the buys that they had. But unfortunately, they brought in new players. They played better football, but the result was the same. They lost. So it's a really tough one for Manchester United at this point in time, because right now you don't know what, if they play badly, they'll say, okay, we need to tweak things around. But they didn't play badly, but they still didn't win. So the question is, what is the hope for Manchester United? All right. On that note, let's hear from you guys. What else what do you think was the problem with Manchester United yesterday? Because if it's chances they created, which is why David Raya had some very good highlights, especially the header from Brian Mbumo. If it's chances they created, if it's football they played, what was the problem exactly with Manchester United that they couldn't win last night's match? The number to send your messages to are
0911-999-0981. Again, 0911-999-0981. I'm certain that Ayo is glad he's on break. We'll take a breather, and
I'm
when we
telling
come
you.
back, we'll be taking the messages. You're listening to Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
Okay, Shehu, when we come
Yeah.
back, please, you first take the Manchester responses to this, Manchester United responses. So
Yeah.
maybe one from WhatsApp, one from YouTube, and then we'll take other
I think we have
messages.
more on YouTube,
Okay,
but
so we'll take.
so
Okay,
and
so
yeah,
let's take. Yeah.
LK's got you. LK's ready.
So we'll be ready when they come in. All right.
All right. Yeah, come here anyway.
Who ran away?
And so, what's it called? Taya says I come in running away.
Before he ran at the right moment. Because last season he was bragging. This year, this season, this is the season. This is
It's
the season when the change.
bottom barrel.
Ah,
Worst
then
of the worst.
first
If you think they
match.
can't go any lower, they will dig a pit and go even lower. Padre says, where is Ayo when you want to troll him? Okay, we are back. Yeah, let's see. All right, we're back.
Ready.
Love music, love life. We are back. Oh, we never left the locker room. So you're welcome to join us and to have fun. Make sure you send your messages to WhatsApp. And right now, the agenda is about Manchester United and Arsenal. WhatsApp line is 0911 And we still have with us the queen of the locker room. We're going to take some messages now. And starting with YouTube, Padre Pio says, where is Ayo when you want to troll him? LK's team 8 drop soup. Liverpool and City getting the job done. Football is back.
I'm with him. Football is really back.
Ochena says, United made me proud yesterday. We need a keeper or, well, suffer this season. Arsenal gets away with dark arts after playing poorly, but I would blame our keeper more. Positive vibes. And LK says, Tega came for me. Firstly, the EPL is a marathon, not a sprint. Haha, consolation.
It's
Secondly,
now that you know. It's now that you know. When you were bragging since, you didn't know it was a marathon.
secondly, Crystal Palace just beat Liverpool at the Community Shield. A draw by Chelsea, albeit not what I wanted, isn't alarming. And I'll quickly jump to WhatsApp. Taking one from Ayokumi himself, who says, good morning, y'all. LK Padre Pio, I know how I do. I'm actually not too concerned about the result from yesterday. The performance was way, way, way better than what we saw last season. What will concern me is if going forward, such good performances can be turned into wins. It's still a long season ahead. It reminds me of those who, after their phone is stolen, they'll say, no, the phone not really paying me. It's the same.
It's the same. That's what they are doing now. It's a long season. When they were bragging, they didn't know the season was long.
And Stan says Onana 1 had been vindicated as Onana 2 error shows Onana 1 might continue next week towards Man
You
U
know?
18th place finish this season. And please take us Supremo. Help us explain why Palace goal wasn't a goal.
Okay, so let's go to that story straight ahead.
Okay. Let's start with oh, sorry, got that mixed up. Let me get it. Chelsea draw blank in Palace stalemates. Yeah, so we're talking about Chelsea suffering the Club World Cup hangover as they were lucky to escape with a goalless draw against Crystal Palace to open their Premier League campaign on Sunday.
Now, may I understand why Chelsea fans were bragging? You know, the FIFA Club World Cup, they went on to win it, beating Paris Saint-Germain, which was the team in form. Um, but in their build-up, I would say they have the softest of draws. So they got in there, beat the big man on the day, which is what Chelsea does. They play finals to win, won it. And then in their preseason, to make matters even more interesting for them, their new buys, Yao Pedro comes in. and he's scoring goals and he's creating assists. And in preseason, they were scoring goals aplenty. So they looked like they had settled all the issues that they had last season. So season starts, and this was saying, we go to beat Crystal Palace. I will never forget. They did not remember that time that Crystal Palace beat Manchester City and Liverpool recently. They were just bragging that based on their own form, they will beat Crystal Palace. They get on the field of play and they fired blanks. In fact, Crystal Palace actually scored a goal, and then the goal was ruled off for offside. Now, the truth of the matter is, it was legally legally ruled as an illegal goal. But the problem is, it is not a common it's not a common incident, or it's not an incident that people see happen regularly. And that's for two reasons. That's because sometimes referees don't enforce the rules. But at the start of this season, everybody's eye is on the matter, which is why even that 8-second rule by goalkeepers, they've started giving corners. But everybody doesn't enforce the rule regularly, which is why you haven't seen this rule enforced. Now, the rule is simple. When there is a free kick and the defending team builds a wall, the attacking team should not have anybody. Not only should they not have anybody in the wall, the closest person in the wall should be 1 meter away from the wall. 1 meter away from the wall.
Okay.
Now, Chelsea had set up their wall, and there was that space between the wall and the rest of the defenders. So Caicedo, Guehi from Crystal Palace, then Marco Correa from Chelsea, like that. But so he must be 1 meter away from the team that is defending. But before Eberechieze kicked the ball, Guehi had already pushed himself and Caicedo to become part of the wall. So he was now less than 1 meter away from the defending wall, which makes him in an illegal position according to the rules. Now, normally, you don't see them enforce this law. But like I said, it's start of the season, there were new laws that they were enforcing, so they just added this one to the enforcement. Because ideally, you should be 1 meter away from the wall by the time the ball is played. But Guehi had already started making his move and had joined the wall before Eberechieze touched the ball. So even if it was a clean goal and nobody was offside, because he was less than 1 meter away by the time Eberechieze touched the ball, it's an illegal goal. So it was rare, but it's the law. So it was rightly ruled as no goal. But I hope that they continue doing it to the end of the season. Because like I said, what happens is at the start of the season, everybody will be on the case. Then 8 games in, you start wondering if they've changed the rules because nobody's enforcing anything again. And that's where the problem usually is.
Well, I hope you now have more information about it because I think
That's the thing. Yeah. Somebody was asking, yeah.
Yeah, I think Patricia also was asking why the goal was cancelled for Crystal Palace on YouTube.
So as at the time the ball is kicked, the attacking any player from the attacking team should be at least 1 meter away from the setup wall. But Guehi wasn't because he started moving before Eberechieze touched the ball. So he was less than 1 meter. So his positioning made him illegal. So, and it's the law. Nothing we can do about it.
Rules, people. Learn to obey the rules. Let's talk about Barcelona opening Liga title defense, strolling past 9-man Mallorca. And that's
and it will look as if it's because it was 9-man, that's why they're winning. But they were already beating Mallorca with 11 men on the pitch. In fact, Mallorca survived better when they came down to 9 men. Because at first when they got the red card and they were down to 10, it was almost as if Barcelona took their foot off the pedal. And then they became 9 men and it became worse. Barcelona just stopped playing. So they scored the 2 goals with 11 men on the pitch. Then the third goal came from Lamine Yamal, who had been trying to score that goal from the start of the match. He finally got his chance to cut in to his left and shoot and score the goal. So the performance was brilliant regardless of the number of the men on the pitch. But that's how you start your title defense. You want to completely obliterate the other team so that you throw out the gauntlet and let people know that you are ready for this fight. And that's what Barcelona did. 3 points, 3 goals to start their title defense. On the other hand, Atletico Madrid were leading by 1 goal One brilliant goal by Alvarez before they lost by 2-1 against Espanyol. So their season has continued from where it stopped last year to where it is now. They play good football, and towards the end of the match, they end up losing. So them and Manchester United now, they are in the same prayer group. They have to pray the same prayer point.
Ah, oh my. All right, we go on now to Guardiola saying that one win does not signal that City are back.
And I agree with him. I agree completely with him because because of the scored number of goals, everybody's saying, "Oh, Manchester City is back," and
Yeah.
Erling Haaland is back. But when you look into the detail, there was still that struggle. That midfield needs to find a creative source that without Kevin De Bruyne and without Rodri. So it's a new team. Yes, they're building, and I must confess, Tijani Reinders is a brilliant footballer. My problem with Manchester City is that Pep Guardiola likes to overcoach his team. So I think they will come to the point where he will start to overcoach Reinders and he will coach out that creativity from him, because right now that's the only brilliant spark in their midfield. But let's see how it pans out. It doesn't mean they're all the way back, but it was good to start with a win. On that note, let's take messages because we're kind of out of time.
Yeah, lots of them. And we'll start with this one from Emeka, who says this weekend EPL was quite somber and exciting at the same time. And Slot, during his interview, said when the game against Bournemouth was 2-2, he looked at his bench to look for Diego Jota to salvage the game. And reality hit him that Jota was really gone. I won't lie, that touched me.
Yeah, that was sad. That was a sad moment. But I like the fact that Diego Jota was celebrated both at Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he used to play, and then at Liverpool. It was brilliant to watch.
Now, Gamble Boy says the problem was just that they didn't score. And believe me, Man United will do well this season. I know be their fan, Sha. Okay.
Okay.
Taya says Ayokumi with mood swing ran away, but let EPL gospel find him. It's match week 1. And Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham have 3 points. Even Chelsea safe have 1 point. But Manchester United just wanted to prove a point. Jokery's first game, and fans have locked fingers on their head. It no longer covers their mouth. Ordinary draw, and Chelsea are doing Club World Champion. Calm down. I'm sure they're about to buy 5 more players. Tega,
Oh
please,
my
any
God.
updates on Super Falcon bonus because DG has spoken.
Okay, so let me correct that. So, Super Falcons bonus is different from the $100,000. The Super Falcons bonus is their match bonuses and all that they were going to be paid whether they won the trophy or not, and that has been paid by the DG. Do you understand? But the money
Mm.
that Rashidat was saying they haven't yet received is the $100,000 that the presidency promised them. So there was a bit of muddying of the waters. They've been paid their bonuses, their match bonuses for their wins during the tournament. But the $100,000 that the presidency promised them have not yet been given. Okay, and that's what we were talking about on Friday. So let's not confuse one for the other. She didn't say their bonuses weren't paid. She said the $100,000 wasn't paid, and that hasn't yet been paid. And that one, like I said, is going to take a process. So let's. She's not telling lies, and the DG is not telling lies.
Two
They're just
truths can
telling two
exist.
different truths. Yes.
Hey, all I can say is that Onana wasn't the problem. The jinx over them hasn't expired. And this is coming from Michael. Fred says, good morning, gorgeous ladies. Manchester United played well. Manchester United played well. I beg you, now statistics will go chop. Fred Adoki. And Victor's from Satellite Town says, good morning, Tega and Oluwaseun. Ayo ran and left me to chop banter. No worries. And finally, AY from Oniru says, Bruno Fernandes has perfected the art of looking busy on the pitch. The casuals love it. The Manchester United faithfuls love it too, but I see through that fraudulent act. The guy's just a
Ah,
work rate merchant who doesn't have any tangible productive outputs. New football
yeah.
season, same old Manchester United. AY the Vex.
I can't believe it. This. No, you people in locker room, you people are bloody. Can we take one or two messages before we round up?
On
Or let's do.
YouTube,
Yeah.
yes, because Ibrahim Hassan is going to have my neck on the platter. And he says, Tega, talk to me nicely. Greet me properly.
Sorry.
Um,
He's an Arsenal fan.
yeah. Uchenna Owokoye says, yes, it's also good to win while playing poorly. That is champion mentality. United needs a keeper. Araya made a brilliant save when faced with same situation. Kudos to Arsenal. All right. So, Ibrahim, Tega has greeted you nicely. So I guess you
Exactly.
can
Yeah,
go on
because
now.
you got 3 points. Congratulations. All right. On
Yeah.
that note, I want to thank you for sending in your messages to Smooth 98.1 FM. We want to thank you for streaming on YouTube. This week, we still have Real Madrid coming to play. So let's see how that pans out. And then the finals in the tennis in Cincinnati Masters. All of that will come your way on Wednesday. So we hope to see you inside the locker room on Wednesday. Until then, have a fantastic week.
Thank you. And Smooth Breakfast continues right here on the Love Music, Love Life radio station.
Sean, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry. Wele. This you're going to be your life for 2 weeks, Abby.
I hate breakfast. I hate it.
Sorry. All right then. Bye bye.
Bye.